Hello Displorers, welcome back to another informative video and thanks for watching. Today we are taking a dive into the world of education and we are presenting the top 10 African countries with the best education system. The first European missionaries in Africa established Christian schools in the late 15th centuries, but these were not widely spread until the 19th century. Education has been in Africa for many centuries. European colonial officials established secular schools for Africans in the early 20th century. Africa has the highest rates of educational exclusion in the world. Almost 60% of children in sub-Saharan Africa between the ages of 15 and 17 are not in school. Although most African countries struggle to meet up with the rest of the world, there are quite a few African countries that really stand out when it comes to quality education, be it at the level of primary, secondary or university. If you're new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our videos. The World Economic Forum assessed 140 countries, including 38 African countries, to rank the best education system based on skill development. The report looks at the general level of skills of the workforce and the quantity and quality of education in each country. Factors considered include interpersonal skills, developing digital literacy, and the ability to think critically and creatively. Without any further ado, here are the top 10 African countries with the best education system. Number 10. Namibia. Namibia, located in the northern part of Africa with a population of about 2.34 million people, ranks at 100th position in global education system and 10th in Africa with a score of 52.7. Namibia has free education for both primary and secondary education levels. Grades 1 to 7 are primary level and grades 8 to 12 are secondary levels. It is 43rd in global ranking on extent of staff training and 82nd on critical thinking in teaching. In Namibia, it's mandatory for every citizen between the age limit of 6 to 16 to receive an education. The Namibian constitution charges the government with the responsibility of providing funds for education. About 8% of the GDP being spent on education. Literacy rate in Namibia is at 88.2%. Curriculum development, educational research and professional development of teachers is centrally organized by the National Institute for Educational Development in Okahanja. Most schools in Namibia are state-run, but there are some private schools which are also part of the country's educational system. There are 4 teacher training universities, 3 colleges of agriculture, a police training college and 3 universities: University of Namibia, International University of Management and the Namibian University of Science and Technology. Number 9. Egypt. Egypt is ranked at 99th position on global education system and 9th best in Africa with a score of 52.8, slightly ahead of Namibia. Basic education, which includes 6 years of primary and 3 years of preparatory school, is a right for every Egyptian child from the age of 6. After 9th grade, students are tracked into one of 2 strands of secondary education, general or technical school. General secondary education prepares students for further education, and graduates of this track normally join higher education. Despite the fact that the country has so many universities and teachers training centers, Egypt is currently opening new research institutes with the aim of modernizing research in the country. The most recent example is the Zawai City of Science and Technology. Number 8. Cape Verde. Although the Cape Verdean education system is similar to the Portuguese system, over the years the local universities have been increasingly adopting the American system. Cape Verde follows closely behind Egypt at 98th position on global education system and number 8 in Africa with a score of 53.3. The country has a population of about 546,000 people and literacy rate is estimated at 80%. Primary school education in Cape Verde is mandatory between the ages of 6 to 14 years old and free for children ages 6 to 12. Approximately 90% of the total population above 15 years old is literate and roughly 25% of the population holds a college degree. A significant number of these college graduates hold doctorate degrees in different academic fields. Textbooks have been made available to 90% of school children and 98% of teachers have attended in-service teachers training. Number 7. Kenya. In Kenya, basic formal education starts at age 6 and lasts for 12 years, consisting of 8 years of primary school and 4 years of secondary school. It is worth noting that primary education is free in public schools. The East African country ranks at 95th position on global education system, ahead of India and behind Brazil, and 7th best in Africa with a score of 55.4. Compulsory education lasts 12 years from the age of 6 to age 17. Those who complete high school can join the polytechnic or other technical colleges to study for 3 years or proceed directly to the university and study for 4 years. The higher diploma is accepted by many employers in place of a bachelor's degree. With a population of about 49.7 million people, 17.58% of total government expenditure in 2017 went to education, and literacy rate is at 78.7% according to UNESCO. Number 6. Botswana. Botswana has made great strides in education development since independence in 1966. At the time, there were very few graduates in the country and only a very small percentage of the population attended secondary school. Botswana increased its adult literacy rate from 69% in 1991 to 83% in 2008. Botswana ranks at 92nd position on global education system behind Iran and ahead of Brazil. It holds the 6th position in Africa with a score of 56.7. Literacy rate in Botswana is at 88% with a population of 2.3 million. Botswana is planning to use science and technology to diversify its economy, thereby reducing its dependence on diamond mining. To this end, the government has set up 6 hubs since 2008 in the agriculture, diamond, innovation, transport, health and education sectors. Number 5. Algeria. Since the 1970s, the Algerian government introduced a system in which school attendance became compulsory for children between the ages of 6 to 15 years. All this was done in a bid to reduce the rate of illiteracy in the country. Algeria ranks 88th position on global education system and 5th in Africa with a score of 57.4. With a population of about 41.3 million, the literacy rate is at 75%. Algeria has 26 universities and 67 institutions of higher education, which accommodated over 1 million Algerians and 80,000 foreign students in 2008. The University of Algeria, founded in 1879, is the oldest in the country. 25 of these universities and almost all the institutions of higher education were founded after the independence of the country. Number 4. South Africa. Ranked at 84th position on global education system, South Africa offers the 4th best education system in Africa with a score of 58.4. It is 53rd on mean years of schooling and 55th on extent of staff training globally. It ranks ahead of Panama and Mexico on global education system. Over the past decade, the South African government budgets above 18% of its total expenditure on education. It's not surprising why South African universities rank among the best in Africa and compete globally. South Africa has a 3-tier system of education starting with primary school, followed by high school and tertiary education in the form of academic universities and universities of technology. Learners have 12 years of formal schooling from grade 1 to 12. Primary schools span the first 7 years of schooling and high schools span the next 5 years. Literacy rate in South Africa currently stands at 94%. Number 3. Mauritius. The beautiful island country of Mauritius is not only famous for its beautiful cities and breathtaking beaches, it also has one of the best education systems around the world. Mauritius has the 3rd best education system in Africa with 61 points. It holds the 74th position on global education system and ranks 40th position on extent of staff training and 47th on quality of vocational training globally. The government of Mauritius provides free education to its citizens from pre-primary to tertiary levels. Since July 2005, the government also introduced free transport for all students. Schooling is compulsory up to the age of 16. The tertiary education sector includes universities and other technical institutions in Mauritius. The country has 2 main public universities, the University of Mauritius and the University of Technology, in addition to the Université des Mascaréniens, founded in 2012, and the Open University of Mauritius. Number 2. Tunisia. Education in Tunisia is given a high priority and accounts for 6% of GNP. Basic education for children between the ages of 6 and 16 have been compulsory since 1991. Tunisia ranks at 71st position on global education system with 61.4 points. Since gaining independence from France in 1956, the government of Tunisia has focused on developing an education system which produces solid human capital base that could respond to the changing needs of a developing country. Education is the number one priority to the government of Tunisia, with more than 20% of the government's budget allocated for education. Number 1. Seychelles. Being a small country with about 95,000 people, Seychelles holds the position for the best education system in Africa with 69.3 points. It is the only African country in the top 50 education system globally, at the 43rd position, ahead of Ukraine, Hungary, Russia and the United Arab Emirates. It holds a global ranking of 28th position on critical thinking in teaching and 34th position on skill set graduates. It is the first and only country in Africa to have achieved the Education for All goals set by UNESCO. There are a total of 68 schools in Seychelles. The public school system consists of 23 creches, 25 primary schools and 13 secondary schools. In addition, there are 3 private schools: École Française, International School and Independent School. All the private schools are on Mahé, and the International School has a branch in Praslin. In 2016, according to UNESCO, the government spent about 11.72% of its total expenditure on education. Education is compulsory up to the age of 16 and free through secondary school until the age of 18. There you have it, Displorers. If you want us to cover any of your top 10 topics, leave a comment in the comment section below. Thanks for watching this video. If you did enjoy the video, do well to give it a thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe and share with your friends.